everybody. We want to welcome you to live Wednesday night service. Tonight is a Q&A. And no, this is not a recording. We are all here right now. So if you were to drive by the church, we are here in the church, and we want to bring this Q&A to you tonight. And we have something special for you. So I'm surrounded by our pastoral staff, and we're going to get started here in just a second. But before we do a few things, we want you to hit that share button to share this video with everybody, to make sure that as many people as possible can see this, because we have a lot of information, a lot of important information that we want to go out tonight. At the end of this session tonight, we are going to have a Q&A, a live Q&A that you can respond to, that you can ask questions, and we're going to answer as many of those questions as possible tonight as well. So we want you to drop your questions in the comment section, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on our new platform tonight. If you happen to go to our website to log in live to watch this live stream, you notice something a little bit different. We are now streaming on Church Online platform, and so that URL is pscog.online.church. It's coming across your screen right now. If you went to our website, you might have seen an image of Pastor Neil preaching, and he's on a computer screen. Click that computer screen, and it will take you to our new platform. The reason we've introduced that new platform because there's a lot of new things that you can do with that. All of the notes from tonight's session is on that platform. You can interact with us through the Bible app and also through the chat as well. So I've seen several people start to join on that. Chat with us, let us know, ask us your questions in the chat. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube right now and you want to check that out, it's as simple as going on your smartphone, your iPad, or your computer and checking that out as well. For myself, I find myself to get distracted. We've talked about this in the office. We get distracted on Facebook while we're watching, and so we've created this new platform for you guys to watch, but still have the interaction of everybody else, of Facebook and YouTube and those types of things. And so we want you to join that platform. And at the end of tonight's service, we're going to drop a survey in the comments that we want you guys to fill out. Take a few minutes and fill that survey out. So that we can better know how to serve you on the plan that we have coming up. So be sure at the end of the service and tonight on Facebook, after we're done, there will be a link given to that on our Facebook page as well and all of our platforms. So Pastor Neil is going to kick us off. Pastor Neil, why don't you welcome the people who's watching on Facebook?
Thank you, Pastor Johnny. It's so good to be with you tonight. This pastoral staff, we miss you. And we are excited because we do see the end in sight as far as joining back with you in service. Even though it may look a little different, we're just anxious and ready to get back to our church family. Also, I want to say a couple things first. This pastoral staff has been awesome, and they have been behind the scenes working harder to continue to bring you content that would help you and help your family, your children, your young people, and so on. Also, our care division, our music that would uplift you. These guys are awesome. And also, I think I speak for everyone. Johnny, you've done an outstanding job as well. He is a talented young man, help pushing us forward with our new format, new things that we're bringing to you. We believe that at the end of this, we're going to be better as a church. And so what happened, we believe that we used it. We saw some things we needed to improve on, and I believe that we're going to be better as a team. Before we really jump in, I also, once again, want to thank the staff. I want to thank our volunteers, all those that have been working behind the scenes, our families for putting up with us, coming up here late at night, trying to make sure everything was right. Everybody who's helped us get through this time, I want to thank you and remind you that God is still moving. Our church is still growing. Ministry is still being done. Our mission given is up. It is not down. You've been so faithful, but I want to just thank you for that. Also, this week is we recognize our medical professionals, our nurses, all those who work taking care of our community. I want to say thank you once again. Many of you, you are true ministers. You put your life on the line at the hospital and the care division. We want you to know that we appreciate you and we thank you. John Mark will talk about this in a few moments. We've been leaning on you as we are trying to navigate getting back into church, and so we want to thank you. Also, Eric, and I know this touches your heart because you are a teacher. Your wife is a teacher. My wife's a teacher. But we want to recognize our teachers as well. And I want to say this. Homeschooling will never be part of the Nolan household after this last 8 weeks. We are ready to send my angels back to school. Amen? I know I am. So thank you to our teachers as well. We're looking forward to the next couple of weeks. The staff, church leadership, and the council, we've been working behind the scenes the last 2 months to lay out a plan. Not to be haphazard, but to lay out a plan that was organized, was prayed over. We sought the leading of the Holy Spirit. We sought the officials of our state and local government. As I said before, we sought medical personnel, and we believe that we have a plan. But I want to thank our leaders for assisting me and helping me in that manner. And we want you to remember once again that we did this with your best interest in mind. That we felt like as a church, the avenue that we chose to continue bringing you the gospel was one that we felt like was the safest for you and your family, but also to continue to edify your life and continue to pour out God's word into your life. But we want you to know that everything that we decided to do was with your best interest in mind. Before John Mark comes to speak on how we are taking drastic steps to keep our church clean for you, I want you to know before the night's over, we have a special date for you about our re-entry plan, but it will be a 3-phase process, and we'll talk about that in a few moments. But before we get there, John Mark, talk about the things that we're doing to make sure our people are safe.
Thank you, Pastor Neil. The first thing that we're going to be doing is biochemical deep cleaning of our church, our offices, our classrooms. It'll be done by a company out of Myrtle Beach, Bactronics. They specialize in this type of cleaning that really just kills all the germs and everything that's in here that's going to kill everything. So they'll be here tomorrow, and so that'll start. We're also going to be wiping down everything, all the hard surfaces in the building will be wiped down. We'll also have sanitation stations at every door coming into the facility where you can get hand sanitizer as you come in. There'll also be masks and gloves available there as well. We're going to have some ushers at the restrooms. We're only going to allow 3 people in the restrooms at a time to kind of keep down on the traffic there. And so we're doing a lot of different things. When you arrive here, when we open up, when you arrive here, we're going to ask that everyone enter through the front door. And when you come to the front, the doors on the right-hand side will be open. There'll be a partition kind of coming through the middle of the lobby. So the new lobby is going to be outside. So, as you come in, you're going to have to talk to people outside. But you'll see kind of how things flow once you get here. That'll be the only entry, though, is the front door. You will be able to exit all the side doors, but we're going to block those off for entry just because we don't want people passing in those small hallways. So make sure you're aware of all that.
John Mark, just to clarify right here, so we're bringing an outside company in to make sure that our people are safe. That's going to clean the building for us and give us some assurance that this building will be ready for our people to return.
Absolutely. It's a well-known company out of the Myrtle Beach area. Some other churches and other venues are using it as well. This is something they specialize in, and we thought it was a great investment for this facility to make sure that everything is clean when you get here.
Absolutely. Our council was very adamant about this for the safety of our people, and I appreciate our council doing that. Also, we have purchased a new tent, very nice, by the way. You did a good job. But the outside is our new lobby. The outside of our church gives people freedom as a safe space for them. They can move and navigate with a sense of safety. But also, we will have information, greeters, and ushers that will help them navigate and I think bring a peace about them. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. You'll know that our lobby's a little bit smaller, so it's just not a lot of room for what we're having to do right now with social distancing guidelines. So everything will be kind of outside, weather permitting. So just make sure you look forward to greeting everyone, saying hello, greeting with a smile and a wave rather than a handshake or a hug.
Appreciate that.
We also want to tell a few of you guys that might be a little weary of coming to our services once we talk about the service times and when we're going to open up. And so we want to encourage those of you that may be high risk or senior adult, a little bit older in age, to encourage you to worship via our online platforms. Anybody that's not yet comfortable with coming back yet, we're willing to show everybody grace for that. And so a lot of us, we are ready to get back together, but I understand that there's still maybe a fear or a worry to come back and gather together. And so we want you to remain engaged with us and connect with us still through those online platforms as we have been already. And if we also want to point out in our plan in phase 1 tonight that if you currently have symptoms of the COVID-19 virus, or you've been around somebody within the last 14 days, we ask that you please stay at home and continue to worship with us online. And so Madison, I want you to get to speak to a little bit, because I've seen people wear masks, I've seen people wear gloves, I've seen people wear nothing. So why don't you speak to that a little bit when we come back to church?
So we are encouraging you to wear masks if possible, but it will not be mandatory. We will have a limited number of masks here for you, but when you arrive, you can get your mask if you don't have one. But if you do have one, please bring it with you to wear. And we want to remember just to social distance as you greet one another. We can do air high fives, air fist pumps, air hugs, all that good stuff. We just want to make sure that we're social distancing, as well as the greeters that will be ushering you into the building. They'll have some signs that are kind of telling you where to go, what to do as they greet you as well.
I tell you what, let me go back and review. I think our online format, some of them are having a hard time hearing you guys. So let me just kind of lead with this right here. I'll kind of just navigate through some of your departments, and maybe you can chime in and help me as we share with our people. Once again, we have a brand new format we're bringing to you. We're going to work through that. I'm excited. I know some of you, as you're hearing me and what you're seeing, you're already letting us know how good it is. We're going to continue to be efficient and excellent, and I'm excited about the future of our church. Once again, for our senior adults who are at high risk, we encourage you to stay home, watch our online platforms. If you're not comfortable coming back, I want you to know nobody is going to think harshly about that. We want you to be safe. You're part of our church family, whether you're with us in the building. As you know, we've been reaching back out to you, and you've been reaching to us. So you're a part of us. Don't feel any pressure whatsoever. And if you've been around anybody with the COVID-19 the last 14 days, we want you to abide by the rules. If you know anybody that had symptoms, stay home, worship online with us. We want you to be safe. We want you to stay safe. Now I want to go back to reiterate some things that Madison was saying. We want to encourage you to wear a mask. If you feel that's the best for you and your family, nobody is going to judge you either way. I was out in Florence today. Some people are wearing masks, some are not. We want to be encouraged to do so, but nobody's going to judge you either way. We just want you to be safe. We also want you to practice social distancing. We know this is going to be tough. We are a church who embraces hugging. We like to greet each other. We like to shake hands. We understand that. There's going to be a time for that. But right now, we want to abide by the rules, keep everyone safe, and we don't want to have to back up from here. We want to continue to press forward, not to have a relapse. So help us. High five each other. Can we show them what a high five looks like? There it is, right there. So just high five each other. And if you will do that, that will help us as we continue to be safe. Now, let me go over with you what phase 1 is going to look like. In phase 1, we're going to introduce to you a third service. So instead of having 2 services on Sunday, we will now have a third service. We will begin at 8, then our second service will start at 9:30, and our third service will begin at 11. In our 8 o'clock service, we really are hoping that, and this service is designed for 55 and above. It's not mandatory. My mother has already informed me she is not getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. She's going to come to the 11 o'clock service. We understand that. It's not mandatory. But what we're trying to do is make sure we keep our people safe. Some of our elderly people are more concerned than others, and rightfully so with what we know about this virus. So we're going to have a third service, first service beginning at 8, and that's designed for 55 and above. To help us navigate, we're going to bring to you at the end, we are providing a survey for you. There's a link that you'll be able to go to right after service. We want you and your family to fill out the survey. If you would do that, it will help us to guide people in the right service, because we still want to provide things for your children and give you the right information. A heavy emphasis, though, will still be on our online campus. We have enhanced our online campus. We're calling it our iCampus. in the near future, we're going to provide a minister to kind of watch over our online campus. We're picking up people all across South Carolina who are now calling Palmetto Street home. And John Mark, we've talked about this as far as pastoral care. It's not just online, but they're part of our church family. They're calling me pastor. This is their staff. They're tithing. They're giving. So church is going to look different. So I want you to understand this. We have enhanced and will continue to enhance our online experience. So we're not going away from that. In fact, we're going to push it further. So for those of you that want to stay online, it's not going away. In the 11 o'clock service, it will be live for you, and it's going to be greater than any other time in our church. However, for those of you like me who are looking forward to be back in God's house, as you come in, our staff, our greeters, our ushers, they're going to be trained and prepared to escort you, to assist you. The seating will look different. We talked about this today. If you have your seat, you may not have your seat when you come back. If you're upset about that, you know my first rule. Do not come to me. Go to John Mark. John Mark will work that out. He'll share with you great scripture about how you're wrong in the faith. But you understand, we're going to spread you out. That's why we're providing a third service. And also, we will be providing an overflow room just to make sure that you're safe. This staff, my council, we have been working very hard to make sure that you're safe and things are provided for you. Now, also, by providing a third service, the length of the service is going to be between 50 minutes to an hour and no more. However, we are still asking God to show up in this service. We're not going to stop the moving of God's Spirit. This is God's house. We're God's people. And we're expecting God to do some amazing things as we come back to church. But once again, remember, our digital worship will continue as we've been doing online at 11 o'clock. Now, I'm going to kind of step in here from Madison so that everyone can hear. In the phase one, as far as our music department, you want me to continue here? Okay. Madison, will you jump here and hear at phase one? And then let's do this. Let me ask some questions with you here just to make sure.
Okay. So we just have some reminders for you guys. We want to remind you, as Pastor has said, just to be patient with us. We're all learning a new normal. We're all learning what the new church is going to be like. So we are growing together as we learn. Also help us by arriving on time so that our greeters can seat you properly and serve you and your family as best as they can, as well as social distancing when you're getting out of your car. You just want to remember to be mindful of the cars around you, the people around you. Be patient, but also we want to remain kind and loving at the same time.
One of my favorite scriptures, Madison, is that Paul, twice in the New Testament, says that we should all practice or do good, especially to those of the household of faith. We are a church family. I know this will not apply to us. It would apply probably to the church down the road, wink, wink. But what we want to do is only pretty much for the last 2 months, I'm ready to see my church family. So when you come, I'm tired of seeing John Mark, okay? Let me just put that out there. I'm tired of it. So as you come back to us, I'm looking forward to see you. I think there's going to be such a spirit of kindness. I think there's going to be such a spirit of generosity. I think people are going to realize how important gathering is and that liberty that we have together. And so what Madison is just saying, as you come, let that joy overflow. I preached on that last week. Was that a good sermon? Thank you, Pastor Eric. I appreciate that. That was a good service, so we want to do that. Eric, thank you also for what you've been providing for my children. Every week, we're able to download our lessons. My children have enjoyed that, or I should say Ashton has enjoyed that. Johnny has provided it for Aiden. But thank you for doing that. Now, listen, I feel like you kind of have the hardest job here because children is, how do you separate children? So share with us our first phase plan as it deals with the children's department.
All right, like you said, things are going to have to look a little bit different when it comes to kids ministry and a few things. We wish we could be back to to normal and things the way they are, but we feel like it's best if we phase things in as we go. So just a couple things that are not going to look normal during the first phase as we slowly get back to in-person worship. The first thing is there's not going to be any choir during the first phase. We're going to continue with our band and praise team only. So you'll see that form of worship during phase 1. But also wanted to let you know that during phase 1, there is going to be no separate kids ministry manned for your children. I, like the rest of the staff, we're ready to see you, and I miss these kids tremendously, and I miss all the families that are represented by these kids. But we thought about it, and we feel like it is best right now, following the guidelines that the government's given us, and with schools not being back in session for the remainder of the year. We just feel like it's absolutely important to keep the kids safe. We know that kids necessarily are not as high risk, but we know that kids could be carriers, and we just want to keep everyone safe. So for the first phase, which is going to be hopefully around a month, we're going to do no kids ministry, but we do have a plan to keep your family and your kids still engaged and to be able to teach Jesus on their level each week. So let me tell you a little bit what the first phase 1 kids ministry plan is going to look like. I hope that you've been engaged over this time with our online services. We're trying to do our best to make Sunday morning look as normal as possible. So we're putting a full service out there. We're starting at 9 o'clock every Sunday morning with a toddler and preschool lesson. And then the next thing at around 9:55 each morning, we are putting out a full elementary service that includes worship, game time, memory verse, the lesson, and some fun videos that apply and go along with the video. So all that has been out there for you, and we're going to continue to put that out there for the duration of this this time that we're in. So go ahead and make sure you stay plugged into those. Those full services are going to still be available. But the big change that we want to introduce to you is as you come and worship as a family, we want to encourage your kids to bring an electronic device, a phone, a tablet. If they need to bring their Chromebook, we want them during this time to bring that device with you to church, because we know it's going to be hard for them to sit in what we call big church the entire time without being able to do things on their level. So we want them to bring that device with headphones, please. And we have, they're going to be, as your family goes in through the front lobby, like John Mark was saying earlier, I'm going to be out there to welcome your family and your kids, and I'm going to give them a packet of things for them to do. Part of that packet will include some instructions on how to use their electronic device. We want the kids to be a part of the worship, the music each time, but what we want them to bring that electronic device for is we want them to be able to have their lesson on their level. So after the praise and worship time is over, we want them to make sure they're logged onto our internet. We will provide that password and the instructions on how to do that on the handout. We want to make sure that they take that device, and then while Pastor Neil is preaching to you as the adults, and we want to make sure that they have their lesson on their level. So we will have those instructions on how they can watch in service and their normal service. Also, we know that for you families with younger kids, we know that you're going to have a place to change diapers. While our kids ministry rooms are closed, we are going to have 2 rooms that are vital open for you, and we will make sure that before and between and after each service that these rooms are thoroughly clean. And those rooms include the mother's room for if you have to take the child out for nursing purposes. Also, we have the family room if your child needs just a diaper change, or if they're getting unsettled and during the service, you may go over to the family room, and we will make sure that both of those rooms are open, and we will make sure that they are clean adequately afterwards. Yeah. But we do ask that no kids and no teenagers attend the 8 o'clock service. While it is an option, we want to make sure, and for the 55 and older to attend that service, we want to make sure that we provide a service that is safe for our senior adults.
Absolutely.
And so we are asking that no kids and no teenagers attend the 8 o'clock, that you choose to attend as a family the 9:30 and the 11 o'clock service.
Eric, I want to share with this. I don't think any kid's going to complain about that. They're right. How many 5-year-olds want to get up at 6 in the morning? So I think it's a good plan. Let me say this about Pastor Eric. 2 things. First of all, at first, he wanted to have children's church immediately because he loves your children. And we talked about that for about 48 hours because it was a big concern of mine. And it became a big concern of his as well as we begin to move forward. He came back to me and said, for the safety of the children, let's hold off during phase 1. And then he came back. You know him. He's organized. He has a plan. He gave me a plan because he still wanted to minister to the children. And it's one that we have put out through the state now. The other children's pastors are using his plan to reach children. So I want to commend you for that. I want to commend you first for putting our kids' safety first. But we didn't drop their spirituality as well. We put a plan there. I know other churches are using that plan. So I appreciate you doing that with your care and compassion for my child and for our children. And phase 1 is not going to last long. Like you said, maybe a month, a little less, a little more, hopefully a little less. I believe we're going to be okay here. I appreciate the plan that you put out there, and I believe that'll work. Pastor Johnny, you want to use his mic, or is yours okay here? Let's use his mic here. Talk to me about, I have a teenager, a 13-year-old who needs Jesus. So share the plan during phase 1, because I only have 2 options. You can either help me pastor him, or I drop him off at your house. It's your call, so help me.
We have been offering different avenues for our teenagers to connect with us, whether it's through crazy things like toilet paper scavenger hunts, but more so through Instagram Live services. And so we're still going to continue to do that during phase 1, Instagram Live services, but we're also going to ramp up a few things that, one, including with our Sunday school. We're going to be providing that via YouTube every Sunday morning before service, so they can check that out. Also, our mid-shift students, Joel has been coming in every week and recording that message for them to watch on Sunday morning. And so just as the kids are doing, we want to offer them and engage them to bring their tablet, bring whatever device they want to use to service with them as well. So after worship, corporate worship together here, they can plug in their earphones and listen to the message from Joel as he gives that to them each week while they're here, either at 9:30 or at 11 o'clock. And our goal is to stay connected with every student each and every week, whether it's through text message or social. Be connected together. So if that takes Zoom calls, Instagram, social media, whatever possible, we're going to try to do that together. And so, Pastor Neil, I know one thing that is constant in church is taking up the offering. So what is that going to look like?
Let me also say this. Great plan, Pastor Johnny as well, along with Pastor Eric for our students. And also, let me just say this with you. This is a chance for you to worship together as a family. You know, we're in church together, kids, teenagers, all the way up to our oldest saint. Take advantage of this time. You know, when I was coming along back in the 1800s, we didn't have children's church. With John Mark's, the 1800s. But really back in the 80s, we didn't have what we have now. And I love the way we do ministry, but I believe God's going to do something amazing with our families while we're back in church. You mentioned about the offering. Let me say this. I was sharing with a couple of council members today, along with our financial team. You guys have been amazing. Our church people here at Palmetto Street are not only faithful stewards. You found that scripture that says a steward must be faithful or found faithful. You are faithful. I want to thank you for that. In fact, we have picked up some new mission avenues, some new places that we're now sowing in the mission field. Pastor John Mark and I yesterday met with an individual. We were able to have a new field of mission and ministry because of your faithfulness, and I want to commend you for that. Probably a big change for us is not offering of worship. We're still going to worship by giving of tithe and offering. All of it belongs to God. But the way we do that is going to be different. When you come into our foyer out front, there is a nice stand It's almost a clear stand. Things that you need to worship by giving will be provided for you. It is safe. It is secure. You can drop it in right there. Also, at the two back doors, there are boxes that will be on the wall. Nobody will be able to know what you're doing. It's safe. It's secure. It's private. Nobody will have to touch anything. It's for you. So as you come in, as you exit, don't get churchy on me and tell me that's not the way we do it, because biblically I can show you in the Old Testament this is exactly how they took up the offering. But you wouldn't do that anyway, because Palmetto Street's a great church, like I was saying. So we got a new format for you to give. This will protect you. And as always, you can continue to give online. If you're old school like me, you'll give with a check here. That's provided for you. And you can also give online. Pastor John Mark, if you'll grab that mic there, please. I want you to share with me about our overflow plan, about the third service dynamic. Can you share a little bit more about that, please?
Absolutely. So a couple of things we're going to have to do different is obviously the seating. So one of the things that we've talked about and kind of came up with is that every other row will be blocked off. It'll be unavailable for you to sit down. So this is going to drastically limit our capacity right out the gate. So that's going to lead us to the seating arrangements where you're going to have to be ushered into a seat. Kind of similar to maybe a wedding. So once you come through the door, an usher will take you to a row and assign you to a seat. So we're doing this to limit people having to cross over people and things of that nature. So our seating capacity is going to be drastically limited. That's the importance of that online questionnaire they gave you, letting us know what service you guys are going to attend. So that stuff's very important, very critical for us to make sure we have enough seating, make sure we have everything planned out for you to enjoy coming back to church. In the event of overflow, we will have the gym available as well. So we have some different things taking place. As Pastor Neal's mentioned, we've also added 3 services. So we'll have the 8 o'clock service, the 9:30 service, and the 11 o'clock service. So we've added an extra service to compensate for the lack of seating. Also, one of the things that we're doing is when you get ready to leave the sanctuary, you're going to leave kind of like a wedding also. An usher will come down and he'll dismiss row by row by row, and you'll flow out of the building that way. Everything that we're doing is to provide a safe environment for you to worship.
Absolutely.
We love you guys. We miss you. But we care about you enough to make sure that your experience here doesn't lead to anything that hurts you or your family. So we're excited to be getting ready to open our doors, but we're also using a great deal of wisdom and caution.
And John Mark, let me step in here. For the biggest thing that I think we will have to work through is the children's department. I want you to understand that there are some rules that we're laying out that are not our rules. We are following guidelines that are set by our government, but really the government's not controlling the inside of the church. It's really our denomination, our council, for wisdom for our people, I would say it that way. The children's ministry dynamic, while some children, you're saying, Pastor, what if I don't have this? My kid, I worship better with them in the back. Remember, this is 1 month that we're thinking. Don't hold me to this because I can't tell what tomorrow is going to hold, but we're thinking about 1 month. If you have a child and you say, Pastor, I want to link up with Eric, but I may not have the capability, hold on before you write us off. Call me. Call Pastor Eric. See, can we help you? I believe we can help you here. We want you in-house with us. And if it's just a way that you can't, then online is provided for you. But I do believe if you will work with us, we can assist you and your child's needs will be met. So just, we have a lot of ways to communicate through social media. We have a lot of technology, tablets and things. I believe there's some other church people that will help us as well. If a child, just let me put it to you plainly, Pastor Eric, maybe a child doesn't have a tablet. I think we could find something, don't you, to meet that need there if a child didn't have a tablet. Can you help me?
Yes, for sure. We want to make sure, number one, your children do not have to have an account for Facebook or Instagram to be able to watch this. The services that we are planning to put out there during phase 1 for them to watch during service will be attached to YouTube. So YouTube is free out there. And we know that as parents, I'm a parent myself, we try to restrict and know what they're watching on YouTube and stuff. Absolutely. But we know that is an easy platform to put out there, and we feel comfortable that it is safe enough to do that because you're going to be sitting right there with them for them to be able to watch it during the service. But like Pastor I use on Sunday morning it runs off of an iPad. So we will not be using those in our classrooms, obviously, because they're closed during phase 1. So if your child does not have a tablet, we will make sure that they have one or some way for them to be able to watch it, because we can provide one from the kids ministry. Now, with that being said, if you have your own, we do encourage you to bring them, or we would run out very, very quickly. But we do have a few on hand to be able to do that during the phase 1.
Absolutely. Pastor Eric, I think that's vital here. We don't leave any child out. Palmetto Street will assist you right here, and so thank you for that. I saw a question come up. I don't want any child feeling like they don't have a chance to worship at our church, and it may look different for a month. Maybe 2 months, we don't know, but we will meet that need. Pastor Eric, will you share with me too? Here's another big question about midweek services, what that will look like, and just give me phase 1 here, please.
All right, so during phase 1 only, we are going to continue with our midweek worship, which is our Wednesday night worship each night, our Wednesday at 7 o'clock. That midweek worship will be strictly online. So we will have, during phase 1, in-person worship on Sunday mornings, but online campus only for the midweek Wednesday night worship at 7 o'clock. So don't get confused. I know you might do that thinking I can come to church on Sunday, but during phase 1, we need you to stay home and watch via online for the midweek worship.
Wednesday, yes.
Also, during phase 1, we are not going to have in-person Sunday school, and we're also not going to have in-person connect groups. With us having to add an additional service, things like that, there's no way that we can adequately clean and fit everybody in between and do Sunday school, things like that. So during phase 1 only, we are not going to have in-person Sunday school or in-person connect groups. And what I mean by that, and when I'm saying in-person, we are coming up with a plan to start Sunday school back and connect groups back, but it's just not going to be in person. So I am actually going to be meeting with the leaders for Sunday school and for connect groups tomorrow, and we are going to have an option on our start date to actually begin to meet for Sunday school and connect groups online. That's probably going to be through a Zoom call. Now, again, with us being flexible with times, Sunday school for everybody is not going to be at the 10 o'clock hour. There's just no way we can have all groups in on that time. So we will get that information out to you as soon as we have those plans detailed out. But we do want you to know Sunday school, connect groups are starting back up. It's just not going to be in person during phase 1.
Eric, great point you just made as well about cleaning. Not only are we bringing an outside company in, not only do we have a great team that cleans weekly here, but in between services, there will be people wiping down seats, doors, making sure you're safe. We're taking every precaution available to us to make sure you're safe. So great point on that. And this is a new way too. We don't know what the future holds in years to come with pandemics and so on. So also by doing this, we're creating a way to have Sunday school still connected, even if they're not meeting along with our connect groups, right? So I appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and, I guess, give the big announcement. For phase 1, our target date to begin in-house worship, 3 services, is May the 24th. May 24th. Are y'all open on May 24th? Oh, we're ready. May 24th. Initially, we thought about Mother's Day, and then it wasn't practical. And then some other churches that we have been in communication with, not in our region, were coming back in-house on the 17th. But if you remember back to last week here in Florence, we were top 15 in America with cases. And before we just kind of push this off and say, Pastor, well, this virus has not touched our church. That's not true. We have 6 families in our church that this virus has touched in some way. We've had a few families that lose family members to death because of this virus. And this past Monday, I lost a very close minister friend out in Oklahoma because of this virus. So we have taken this virus very seriously. It has touched our church. But for the safety of our people, meeting with medical personnel, our denomination, and local and state government, we feel like it's in the best interest to begin on May the 24th. And what a day that's going to be for our body of believers. We can't wait to see you. I'm not even going to talk about phase 2 tonight because the time frame we don't know yet. But for phase one, if there's something in phase 1 that you think we should do different, we understand that. If there's something that's not exactly to your liking or it's going to create a little problem for you in worship, I want you to understand what we've had to navigate through. Everything that's been done tonight is to meet the needs of your family, to have a great worship experience with us, but to also keep you safe. I sleep well at night knowing that the staff and this council has took every precaution to take care of your family. We love you. We appreciate you. May the 24th. I might even sing that service because I will be so excited. May 24th, all right? So write that down. Begin to invite friends. Pastor Eric, we have just a few minutes left. May 24th. That sounds like a great day. Any questions that I can answer maybe here? Anything that's come in?
Yes. Let's see. The first question was, somebody said that we mentioned something about a survey. Can someone explain a little bit about that again?
Yeah, I'll field that question. We are going to be dropping the link about that survey into our social media accounts. It's also on Church Online platform and YouTube. So wherever you're watching right now, we're going to drop that link in there. Pretty much it's a preference form for you to fill out for you and your family, basically explaining to us the dynamic of your family. We know who everyone is, but we do want you to give us a preference on what service that you may attend so that we can prepare before May 24th. And so if you would, fill that link out, go to that link, fill out that form tonight, tomorrow, sometime in the next couple of days, so that next week we can prepare, for the next few weeks we can prepare for the time for you to come back and ask certain questions like, what specific service do you think you and your family want to come to? 9:30 and 11. How many children do you have? What are the ages of your children? Those specific things so we can better prepare for you there. And so it's a very basic survey. It won't take you longer than a minute. And if you have any issues connecting to that survey, it's a Google form survey. If you have any issues with that, you can't connect to it, or for whatever reason it's not working, call the church office during our office hours, and we will be happy to help you answer the questions over the phone so that we can still get your information for your preference form.
Link is provided right after we're done tonight, correct?
It has been provided in the chat, and it will be provided as soon as we're done, so in multiple places.
Good. Pastor Eric, any more questions?
Yes. The next question is, are we still doing anything special for Mother's Day like we normally do?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'll take that question. Of course, we've always done a special Mother's Day service, and I know Pastor Neil's going to be bringing a special word for all the moms out there this Sunday. But one of the things that I've always looked forward to is the gifts, and probably my favorite thing that we've given away is those Gerber daisies. So what we've done is we've ordered a couple of hundred Gerber daisies. They are here on the church property as we speak. They are located right outside of Amy's entry door at the office entrance. She is guarding them like a hawk, okay? So, no, I'm just kidding. She is ready to meet with you and give those out. We want you guys, if you're a mom and you attend our service, we want you to stop by between now and Sunday and pick up a Gerber daisy for you and your household.
Can I share a little bit with the Memorial Day as well, since he's opened that door? Memorial Day is coming up, and it's my first year here with you. I'm very big on Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and we want to recognize our veterans in November. But for Memorial Day, we want to do something special here at Palmetto Street as well. We want to recognize your loved ones, those who have then gone on to their reward, but yet they served our country. I think it's very important to see their face and see their name here. John Mark, will you share with our plan on how we can honor those who served our country and have now passed, please?
So we're going to be doing a special video presentation for Memorial Day. So we want you guys, if you have a family member that has passed on, that served in the military, we want you to email us a photo of that family member, their name, and their branch of service. You can email that to info@pscog.org. You can mail that to us. I need to take a break. I don't want to get tongue-tied.
John Mark's running out of
Take a break.
steam, folks.
Take a break.
You
So,
might want to stay tuned. There's no telling what he's going to
dangerous.
say. I'm telling you.
So you can email that. If you have any issues at all, feel free to call us and we can help you with that, or you can drop the picture off and we can scan it for you. We'll do anything we can to help you. But we want to do something special for those veterans that have passed on.
Absolutely. Disclaimer here, we're making a special video with your loved one's picture and name. We'll put it on social media and run it here in the sanctuary on Memorial Day weekend. We want to honor those great men and women who served our country. They deserve that. Any other questions, Pastor Eric?
Yes, there's a couple more questions, some different clarifications, but I wanted to make a couple of clarifications real quick that I know have come up, and I'll address them before I do the other questions. The first thing, I saw a question about adult connect groups. For adult connect groups during phase 1 will be completely online. So there'll be no in-person Sunday school or in-person connect groups. And we will get that information out to you very detailed of how to do that. So we'll get that out to you.
That's just phase 1, correct?
During phase
Just
one, yes. I also had a question about the CDL ministry. That's kind of included there. During phase 1, there's going to be no other on-campus events. So Sunday morning worship is our only on-campus event. So there'll be no extracurricular type activities or any other type of groups. So CDL, Connect Groups Sunday School, anything extra beyond the Sunday morning worship would not take place in person on campus during phase 1. And then later on, as we introduce phase 2, things will begin to come back into play.
And just to be very transparent, we're expecting and hoping that phase 1 is about a 4-week phase.
Right.
That's our plan.
Right.
It can change, determine what happens with this virus, but we're talking about 1 month. But remember, we're going to be back in church together every Sunday. We can make it 1 more month. Pastor Eric?
All right, another clarification I wanted to make. I don't know if they mentioned this because I'm trying to follow your questions and some of your comments online while trying to listen as well. But if the survey is out there, but after this Q&A service is over, we are going to have a separate post that will be out there on Facebook and our social media platforms for you to take that survey for us. But I wanted to make a clarification. If you don't have the means to take that survey online yourself, please call the church office. And as you call the church office, Amy or any of the pastors who call, we will complete the survey for you. We just need every family to complete that so that we can be as detailed and have as much information as possible. And that brings us to 3 questions that I have, I think. First question is, if we choose a service to attend, but something happens, can they attend a different service?
Yes. We understand things. We understand children. My child will lose his mind over a pair of socks, so we understand that. What this does is it just helps us plan. We want to make sure that your worship experiences here will meet the needs of the people and equip you for your daily walk. The survey just kind of helps us know how to plan our overflow and things of that nature. Yes, you come to church. We want you in church. If you don't have a place to seat, you can take Shannon's seat and you just come to church.
All right. The next clarification was about the 8 o'clock service. Some of them are asking, is it a requirement that if you are 55 years or older that you only attend the 8 o'clock service?
No, once again, no, it's not a requirement nor a mandate. My mother is close to 60. I'll leave that there. I don't want to tell her age. She's informed me that this is her church. She's a member here, but she's not coming to the 8 o'clock service. So my own mother. No, you come to the service, but we want to remind you, for the safety measures, we were just trying to provide a service that our seniors, our elderly, would feel safe and to accommodate them. That's all this is. We added a 3rd service to meet the needs of the whole body, but that first service, we were just trying to give our seniors a sense of comfort there to know that they are safe. But no, if you're 99 and want to come to the 11 o'clock service, come on.
And I think the last clarification question that we had was about masks. Just are they required to wear a mask during the service? And if they don't have a mask, but would love to attend in person but don't have a mask, what are the options there?
You want to take this? Or you got it?
Yes, wearing a mask is not required. We are encouraging you, if you have your own, to bring it. If you would like to wear it, that's up to you. If you need a mask, one will be available. We have a limited supply, but they will be available at the front door when you arrive.
Once again, so we do have some masks to help. I was talking